Okay. It seems everything is in order, except for the game itself. Welcome back, everyone, to another stream where I decided I will be playing through this game. I think it is pretty cool. I want to see what happens next. I thought about it for a couple of days, and today I had two options: either working on my update for the Cowboy Wild West game or playing this. Ultimately, I decided I don't have enough ideas ready for the Cowboy game rework to get back to working on that. I feel like I could do better than the ideas I currently have, hence why I decided I'm gonna play some more Sovereign Wow. Sovereign Syndicate. That's the word. Now, before I begin, let me just make sure that my streamer mode is enabled. There we go. So that I don't get notifications of any kind on Discord. Chat is visible, everything is in order. Okay. Last we left off, Clara stole money from Atticus, and she was afterwards robbed by that muscle henchman of Molly. What was Theodore up to? Oh yeah, he installed some kind of decision engine into Otto. And Atticus is about to wake up, realizing that he lost all of his savings, well, not savings, all of his all of the money he won from gambling that night. So the masked stranger isn't a run-of-the-mill nutter on a visit to Sacred Heart. You discovered your mother's maiden name, Hathaway, and confirmed that she is being held at Bethnal House, a hospital for the mentally infirm. And a chinwag with Clementine gave you a lead to accessing Bethnal. Where's my money at? Any other rooms available here? Oh yeah, next door. Buggeroo. Here's a sight to blast even my jaded senses. The hump of a cadaver in a sprawling pool of blood. For one shuddering instant, I fear that the body is Clara Reed, but no, it is someone else, and she is bathed in red, a darker red than the floor and walls. Is that Penelope? Or the rival girl? That creeping murderer who's been at large in London must have struck again, just a few steps from where I was sleeping. There is an unmistakable scent of bergamot in the air, and the furniture is in disarray. That explains that scraping noise I heard earlier. Okay, let's examine the body first. No question. This blood-soaked body is very dead. It's Beatrix. Oh, I never spent the night with her, but I remember her face. A beauty torn and lifted from this earth. Another dolly killed in cold blood. Damn, I was expecting Penelope to be the one off, since she's like on her way out and in love with the fisherman and everything. Not Beatrix, she's the main rival of Clara, if I remember correctly. But in their own brothel, supposedly safe haven? No one deserves to die like this. Bloody crow. If only I were a trained detective. Then I'd sure get to the bottom of this terrible business with alacrity. I'll do what I can, but I can't be sure I'm the hero of this particular tragedy. This is all too much. I need to leave this place. Two lofty stories from here to the hard cobbles below. Could it have been a cat burglar? Hello, Kate. Thank you very much. Or perhaps something with a natural climbing ability. There's been a murder. The chiffonier was dragged across the floor to where it stands. That explains the scraping sounds which woke me before. Interesting. Puzzle out the crime scene. Sure. Dum-dum. It's all very curious, but I don't particularly want the coppers questioning me about all this. Better skedaddle. Athena, who supposedly jumped fully grown and ready for combat from Zeus's skull. That's a woman I would like to know. Okay, I guess that was a waste of time. Oh dear. Madame Zora? You! What are you doing slinking around up there? I have to tell you, I've been robbed, right here, in your fine establishment. Last night I was flush with capital, but I woke up a pauper. I don't know anything about that, except that it was probably the doll you were with who robbed you. Anyway, what kind of dullard falls asleep in a bordello? Perhaps I shouldn't have trusted Miss Reed, but I was overcome with such fatigue that I couldn't help but fall asleep. You have undoubtedly heard about the courtesan killer. I am sorry to report that he is struck again, there in the room at the top of the stairs. What are you trying to say? Open your ears, woman. There's a corpse upstairs, and it looks like what's left over after a day of making sausages at the slaughterhouse. But no. Not the courtesan killer? I'd wager my left horn, madam. It's a bloody awful sight up there. Saints above. This is troubling indeed. When word gets out, we could be ruined. I will let the girls know. We'll have to close our doors. Do you know anything that might point to the killer? I believe I do, in fact. And I'll tell you for nothing. It's a werewolf or some other deviant behind all this carnage. What else could it be? Interesting. Do explain. You've seen the newspaper reports, no doubt, and now you've seen it with your own eyes. What sort of creature could do such a thing? They are vicious brutes, certainly. But you see, madam, the full moon is not till tonight. Perhaps, but a partial transformation is not unheard of, or even full changes in the immediate days that follow and precede the full moon. The madam certainly seems to know more about the matter than me. Regardless, with the trauma induced by each transformation, one's noble restraint gets gradually looser. The body upstairs was certainly torn to shreds, as if the poor dolly was clawed to death. Excuse me, but are you muttering under your breath? I haven't the slightest... what was that? Are you tallying sums in your head right now? A woman was slaughtered not 20 yards from here, from where we're standing, and not long ago either. Well, didn't you wake up high and mighty this morning? I am running a business here, sir. And who are you? Just another John wandering in off the street. This is a job, and my girls rely upon it to pay their way. Perhaps so, though it still seems unduly callous to me. Now, I must tend to my own troubles, man. I leave these shambles in your capable hands. Run along, Bullman. Whatever business you had here is finished. Pail of tobacco. Choice. Single shows Peter waiting for his perfect match. No cats, dogs, or other equally excitable animals allowed inside. And it goes on deep into the details. The madam must really care for the rules set about here. Equally excitable? What's that supposed to mean? At least there's no mention of minotaurs. West County's claim to alcoholic fame graces the table. South of England, Devon, Dorset, Somerset, Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, I guess, Cornwall, and the Isles of Scilly. Cornwall mentioned. Still full, but I can't stomach cider, too sweet. A grand piano? I've seen better. Isn't this a pretty and expensive little music box? I'd like to smash it to splinters. Atticus, behave yourself. Shut up, you old hind. Nothing here. Massive statue of Artemis, goddess of the hunt, which was in fact her sole responsibility. Seems like light enough work. An oral hygiene clogs my nostrils with peppermint. I should really have a brush on the back molars one of these days. As if I'd waste my time on such nonsense. You're either born with good teeth, or they're bound to fall out. The brass capped replacements cost a pretty penny. I'm gonna use the powder. My mouth is haunted with the spirits of last night's binge. It's time for an exorcism. Blah, tastes like someone befouled the holy water. It's only right and proper to suffer for my sins. Huh. Alright. Ooh, what's this? Landscapes of other places. I think that one's Morocco. Wonder if I'll ever see anything more in the world than this dismal isle. Okay, time to go down. Atticus, look at the state of you. Bit less of the bold bone homie than I'd hoped for. There's been a murder upstairs, and the body is a pile of bloody carpet rags. Might be the handiwork of the courtesan killer so-called. I thought you should know. Has got her rattled. Don't know I've ever seen come that way. Upstairs? Right under our very noses? Who? Who was it, Atticus? It was Beatrix, I believe. Bloody hell. She might have been a bit of a diva, but no one deserves to go out like that. I didn't know her well, but I know she was quite popular around here. Aye, killer must be bold as brass to strike in the middle of the rows. There's going to be hell to pay. Whatever she says, Clem clearly cares about the girls that work here. Blast. All I got to say is that Lone better steer clear of Clementine. He tries something like this again, I'll stick a shift so far up his guts he can pick his teeth with it. Ha, I like that. About good old Penny, didn't you say she was coming round? Penny couldn't make it, but I did hear from her. She said that her boss, Dr. Clancy Wainwright, knows more about the patients at Bethnal House, names and identities and such. as the man you want, but she wasn't sure where to find him on his off day. Just what I need. More woofing around town. She said you might check at Nandi's shop in Plaza Soris. Apparently Dr. Wainwright's been consulting Nandi for a secret project. Thanks for that. Listen, mate, I hate to kick a Minotaur when he's down, but you've got to be on your way. Man with as many enemies as you have, of the type you have, kind of puts people around him in danger. Of course. I respect you and I respect this establishment, even if I've been thoroughly put out here as of late. Quit your creeping dally. It's unbecoming of a Minotaur. Clem, I was cleaned out. Crikey. You have a knack for getting into trouble. Do you at least know who ran off with your Rees or Reddies? After my night upstairs with Clara Reed, I woke up skinned. Every last farthing I won at the tables is gone. I have no idea what it's about. Still behaving like some young pup in from the counties, then. I can't believe Miss Clara would have done it, though. I've been wrong before. There's a reason gentlemen don't hang about here after hours. I'm certain it was Clara Reed who robbed me. The question is, why? And what about this long-lost mother of yours? Penny's put her job at risk asking around on your behalf? You're getting quite handy at giving a lecture. I hear they've a need for that at the university college. What a title. Oh, just bugger off then. Let that teach you to be overly flippant? I'd better get well about my business. Watch out for yourself. Here's hoping I'll see you on better footing, Master Darsley. Till next time. Anything interesting here? It's too bad I was taken for... I could have turned my life around with that money. And the evenings I've whiled away going broke at Baccarat. Almost impossible to sleep anything past the bunker, but I do like a challenge. Especially when the bunker's not blooded. These ruddy gizmos are taking the fun out of gambling. What's there? Water closet. Anything of interest in the water closet? Much more civilized than pissing in the gutter. A bit of privacy to be had here. I shall change my form without anyone seeing. Toilet. Now. No, just breathe. In, out. Perhaps I should cut back on the gin a little. That was weird. None of these coats compares to my performing magician's stopgap. Oh, okay. That's a bug. Interesting. Oh, hi Jemmy. Molly's ward healer and debt collector is waiting for me with a vinegary look on his gob. Old Jemmy is a hardened bruiser. I hope for my sake he's not here about my debt to Molly. The bar is empty except for the brick wall of Minotaur in the doorway. One hand on his weapon, a meat cleaver fit for a giant's chopping block. It's worth a try. Jemmy, if I don't miss my guess here, gin drinking Minotaur, right? I am. In fact, my old dad was a bootleg gin distiller. Look at this. To my utter surprise, the oversized thug produces a pint bottle from his coat pocket and hands it to me. Go ahead, take it. See the label there? Jeremiah's gin. He was quite the rake in my day. It worked out better than I hoped. Thanks, Jimmy. But someday I still hope to get the chance to kick your teeth in. That's right, old chap. Channel the anger into something useful. Now that we've dealt with the pleasantries, Mistress Molly sent me to offer you a favor. She also generously arranged for you to work off some of your outstanding debt. Believe me, I was ready to pay my debts in full, but now it seems that I have still my slice of luck. I was robbed last night at the Velvet Rose. The brutal hireling takes a short breath in imitation of surprise. However, I have no doubt someone with your connections could find the brigand, and then we'll all be square. Oh, it's on me, Cully. What's Cully? Dupe or Mark? It's on me, Cully. I'll clear this up for you right now. Clara Reed is the thief in question. She's a dolly, isn't she? She's after one thing only. Consider her last night a reminder of that. I don't believe it. Yes, you do. You're not that daft, or you never would have lived this long. Lucky for you, I happened to bump into Miss Reed, and she was the only too glad to hand over your dosh. The winnings were never yours to begin with. Molly arranged the whole thing. So what's the problem? It sounds to me like you still got your money, so Molly and I are at quits? You think so, you mug? I thought you Molly arranged the whole thing. She put Lefty Brown at your table. The famous card sharp. I should have known, but I was too drunk on winnings and money or no, she did you a favor, so why don't you see what you can do for her in return? Last. Molly always gets her money's worth, one way or another. First smart thing you've said today. Go talk to Molly at the tavern, and I suggest you clean the wax out of your ears first. She wants to give you this assignment, personally. Bye. Okay. Once I head out here, straight for the tavern. Won't be around this way again for a while. I mean, I don't really think there's anything else here to look at. Experience simply the name we gave to our mistakes. Okay. Clara Reed, finally. Her performance at the Palladium was interrupted by Atticus Daly, a minister who was in his cups as well as in the chips. After a heart-to-heart in the Velvet Rose, you relieved him of his winnings, only to lose the money after getting bushwhacked by Molly's chief goon, Jemmy. Just before dawn, Ives gave you his take on the killer's latest victim. Nothing's like a good rest after a night of disappointment. Mr. Chalamet, the walls promised missive. Mr. Chalamet, the walls promised missive seems to have arrived. Did Suri slip the letter beneath my door? Or perhaps one of Ives' mystery colleagues is to blame? No point pulling it off, I suppose. Miss Clara Reed, please hasten to the Velvet Rose at your first earliest convenience. It is with deepest regrets and condolences that I must inform you of the passing of one Beatrix Aguirre sometime after midnight last evening. Signs indicate that the death is connected to the work of the courtesan killer. Respectfully, I would urge you to consider what we spoke of last night. My employers greatly desire your presence at the Rose, as well as your assistance in inspecting the body. Please do not delay. My sympathies for the loss of your peer. Yours, Ives Chalamet Duval. Passing of Beatrix Acquire. I... Uh, I suppose it was inevitable that this butcher would venture close to home eventually. But nonetheless... Oh, Bea, signs above, I'm so sorry. The frigid bastards. I need no reminder of my situation. I'll make my way through the rows then. I'm embroiled in this whether I like it or not. Now, can't wallow in vanity. The hanged man stares up at me, lifeless and foreboding. But it's not always a bad sign, is it? The most comfortable and expensive place I've ever slept. Worth every penny. It won't be long, Trunks. You'll make it out. Hey, Bacon is in my room. The black cat from Plaza Suris lounges around about in your suit, as though he has always been here. Bacon, how did you ever find your way here? Getting cat hair off the furniture is going to be a nightmare. I have a cat now. Look at his cute little face. Who's a good cat? Who belongs right on a sandwich with tomatoes and... I should really find a snack. But I have bacon right here. I'm really not planning on eating a cat, as cute as he is. Is that? Okay. Let's just check upstairs to be sure I am not missing anything. Writing a ball. Telescope. Astronomy coursework. I guess that's it then. I don't see anything else here being relevant. What's Iron Bear doing here? It's rare to see him without Tanner nearby. Iron Bear, good morning. What brings you here today? I thought Tanner didn't require my services until the evening. That is correct. However, with the events of the night previous, Cunningham thought my services as a bodyguard might be more useful elsewhere. Egad, has word spread so quickly? In London, of course it has. Tanner can be overbearing. I'm lucky this is all he did. Crap. While I appreciate your concern, I must stress that the events of last night shall not be repeated. Please convey my greetings to Tanner and assure him that I will see him this evening. It is good to see you as well, Miss Reed. But you are not my employer. Oh dear, he doesn't sound happy. I seem to have offended him. Or he's less than pleased with Tanner's order himself. No way to know, but I must be able to conduct my own affairs. Did Tanner require that you remain glued to my side? He failed to specify. Well, in that case, I have things I must do today, and I'm certain you do as well. Cunningham is concerned for your well-being. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he included himself in that. Look, since I'm sure you have better things to do than follow me around, what if we agree to meet later at the tavern? I believe that could be arranged. Thank you, Iron Bear, truly. Good day, Miss Reed. My kingdom for some respite from all this. Okay. I'm gonna have to inspect the body at Velvet Rose, I guess. Suri? Hello again. You keep up with the news, Suri. I don't suppose you recall any strange visitors last month? This about that girl? Hannah, was it? One who turned up dead last month? You remember her? I think I've already had this conversation, but I'm not sure. Or there. She was staying with us in one of the less fancy rooms for a spell. Uh, I believe she was killed in the hotel itself. What? Really? Saints, but that's a chilling thought. Apparently, some residents heard quite a scuffle in the night of the murder. I suppose it's possible. The poor dear, I had no idea. Did she have any visitors the night of the murder? Her specifically? I'm afraid not. Plenty of people in and out that night, though. Damn. What happened to her personal effects after the crime? The bobbies took most of it after the fact, except for a few bits and bobs. Suri produces a worn hairbrush with a carved ivory handle from a drawer set within the reception desk. This was hers. Might be a touch morbid, but I've been using it myself, truth to be told. It's yours if you'd like. If you need it for evidence or some such. You were using a dead woman's hairbrush? Suri shifts uncomfortably. Well, it's not like she was using it, was she? I couldn't let it go to waste. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Suri blushes high and fierce. Oh, like you're any better. Better to change the subject, though. I'm glad the brush is in my possession now. If I have any further questions, I'll be back. Of course, Miss Reed, I'll be here. Hold it right there, Missy. I am another NPC standing in your way. Hold on, who's on the other side? Okay, I thought for a moment that it was gonna be some NPC important to the plot. Maybe it is important to the plot and I just don't know. But, no, maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a little break, 5 minutes or so. Because I just realized I forgot to do my Duolingo for the day. I'll be right back. And I am back. Let's check the chats and everything. Make sure everything is in place, everything is in order. Alright, let's get back to it then. Yeah, okay. Jobs, that's the thing I wanted to know. Wow, I really do have just 2 jobs? Note from my wife has arrived, requesting my presence at Velvet Rooms. Okay, got it. I could use the map travel, but might as well just walk a little. See if I spot anything interesting on the way. Time for Beggar's Lane. Palladium, Velvet Rose. It's that thief! He's the killer! No, it was Joe Pickett. I should have never trusted him. The old Joe Pickett, of course. Who else would have the ability to climb several stories up and murder and stuff? Miss Reed, why the long face? Believe it or not, Clem, I'm here to inspect the body. You're here to inspect the body? Very secretly a police specialist whole time then? Far from it, I assure you. No point in explaining to Clem how I ended up in this mess, especially when I'm unsure of the finer details myself. Listen, you know I care for all the girls here, and I know you do too. It's terrible what happened last night, right under our very noses. If only I could, She cuts off, shaking her head. There's nothing I can do. I know that, plain as day. But you, Clara, might just have a chance. You think so? I do. You're whip smart, and you care about the girls too. Don't try to deny it. There's no one else I'd rather have on the case. You think I'm... Okay, yeah, I'm pretty smart now that I look at it, yeah. As opposed to being tactful, which I am not. I should respond tactfully in the future. But not underestimate the intellect. I'm not near as certain of that myself, Clem. Oof. Ah, my duck, if you don't, who will? A fair point. Now we'd best get upstairs. Nothing to be learned hanging around here, if you say so. Wonderful. Now Clem can be added to the ranks of people to be disappointed if I can't solve this case. The weight of a friend's hope can be heavy indeed. Nothing to be gained from putting things off, I suppose. Worry not. Clementine is... not Clementine. Clara is on the case. Hello. I'm gonna just bypass you. Ooh. The air in this room is stifling. Is that solid sense of dread that you only find next to a corpse. Quite different from simply reading about the courtesan killer in the papers. Every problem seems inconsequential until it is at your doorstep. Beatrix, we may have had our spats, but you didn't deserve this. Would it be pertinent to look around the room or inspect the body first? Her lifeless and torn up body lies moldering on the brothel floor. By the saints, it's all the more haunting up close. Let's just get on with this, shall we? Where shall I start? Inspect the body. Intuition. Whew. There are many gaping puncture wounds and ribs across her entire body. She's been thoroughly brutalized. It resembles an animal attack, vicious and beyond that which would have been necessary to simply kill her. There's a spattering of blood across nearly the entire room, though it seems most concentrated on the bed and in the area where the body now lies. The concentration of blood suggests that the struggle began on the bed and proceeded until she hasn't the energy to continue. Torn stomach. The torso of this deceased has been sliced open round the stomach and into the chest cavity. It's grim and gruesome work to sort through. Within the cavity of her flesh and bone, her organs form a disorderly chorus of reds, purples, and browns. I recognize a few, and yet others are curiously absent. Her heart is missing, as is her liver. I think other organs might be missing besides. There's little sense to be made of her bare insides, as they shine wetly in light that they were never meant to see. I knew a haruspex once, who practiced the reading of entrails to divine the future from slaughtered beasts of burden. Huh. It scarcely fazed me then, the viscera of the dead ox beneath her sybilic hands. I'm not sure I found what I was looking for, but what I've seen will linger in my already troubled dreams. The multitude of puncture wounds across her body seems to have one thing in common. They are, generally speaking, uniform, as if they were created by the same weapon. Whatever created them passed in and out of the flesh cleanly, with purpose. Puncture wounds, the shape of the injury, even the fight and the torn-up corpse suggest that this was an attack carried out by tooth and claw. But if that's the case, why are the wounds clean? The creature bit, but did not chew? Did not tear off the chunks? Tear off chunks of the still warm flesh to consume? Wow. Did not tear off chunks of the still warm flesh to consume? There's nothing more to be done here. This pocket watch looks rather familiar. Have I seen it before? The interior of the cover is engaged with the decorative image of a bird in flight. There appears to be a significant scratch marking the image. I'll leave it where it is for now. Is evidence in an active case? Perhaps I should ask if I might take it to identify it myself. I could simply leave its identification to the bobbies and check the back later, though that's bound to be slow process then, that I'll not see answers on for some time. But let's talk to a bobby. Ives Bobby Shalmaid Wall. Okay, let me just reposition myself and get more comfortable. Maybe I should give him a French accent. His name sounds French. Before we start, I thought I might let you know the prevailing theory, now that you've had the opportunity to inspect the room for yourself. Let's hear it then. Why do I do this to myself? The authorities believe that this crime was not committed by self-possessed hands. Especially, they are working under the assumption that the killing was committed by lycanthrope, given this, as well as the last killing's proximity to the full moon. And what do you believe? Suffice to say, there are many aspects of this case that do not make sense to me. Indeed, there are cracks in that conclusion. Least of all, that last night was not the full moon proper. Some werewolves have been known to lose their heads in the days preceding it, but it is far from a universal affliction. I would do best to serve my judgment, and for that matter, consider how much I am willing to share with my friend here. But sharing our findings will be mutually beneficial to us both, insofar as understanding this case goes. That being said, it is hard to trust this unknown man, let alone his shadowy backers. So, Mrs. Reed, you've seen the body. Anything you'd like to share? What was that? That was like British French, which just doesn't make sense in my mind. Okay, I can try to do a better French. So, Mrs. Reed, you've seen the body. Anything you'd like to share? Close enough, I guess. Hmm. I was a watch among the items in the room. I wondered if I might take it and attempt to identify its origin myself. That is fine with me. I'll make sure to proper authorities know where the item has gone. Uh, Nasty work, though hardly my first time seeing a dead body up close. Care to expand on that, mademoiselle? Too numerous to remember every instance. Saints, that's rather an alarming notion now I think of it. Perhaps another time, detective. I still has ways to go to earn your trust, my trust. Thus far, he does not seem particularly untrustworthy, at least. The whole scene was unusually gruesome, a horrific tableau. Her wounds spoke of brutality. The wounds on the body were more severe than if the killer were simply trying to end her life. If anything, they resemble an animal attack. Hmm, I cannot, I cannot say I disagree. Indeed, the other victims tied to this case shared similar fates. In this part of the reason this case has received so much coverage by the press, the wounds were far too uniform to be random. I noticed something strange when looking closely at the wounds. They were altogether uniform, precise. There was no sign of mastication, well, chewing. Well, Mrs. Reed, that is a most disturbing detail. It would certainly contradict the prevailing notion that this was done by a werewolf. Was there anything else? The state of her organs. Some were missing. I'll keep that for now to myself, I guess. Now, let's tell him. Her heart and liver are missing. There may be additional organs missing as well, though I'm no physician. A similar situation occurred with the other victims. He strokes his chin for a moment. Were there any further details you noticed? Those are the details that struck me as particularly strange. I found things he shouldn't have missed, but it's best not to rub that in, nor draw attention to it. We're on the same side of the investigation after all. I hope that the information I found will prove useful. Yes, I expect it will. I must say, Miss Reed, I am impressed with your observational skills. You may have missed your calling as a private detective. Honey. We've made good progress here, Miss Reed. Let me know if there's anything else. Certainly. One more thing. Oh, this French accent. So bad. One more thing. I generally refrain from dealing directly with them, but the dog hounds have eyes and ears all over London. Molly O'Malley may be privy to some details regarding the perpetrator's true identity and whereabouts. Molly O'Malley. Wonderful. By the by, Miss Reed, I would like to fill you in for a moment that drifted into Indian. By the by, Miss Reed, I would like to fill you in on what. Oh. Maybe if I find a character that would look Indian, but no. By the by, Miss Reed, I would like to fill you in on what we know of the other victims. It's important you know what we're talking about, what we're walking into. Alright, what should I know? What would you like to discuss first? Oh. Hmm. What would you pin as the first incident of this case? Can you tell me about the victim? The first reported victim was a washerwoman by the name of Rachel Nichols. Oh, Rachel Nichols. I recall hearing of her death. The papers claimed she was streetwalking when it occurred, though I'd never encountered her in any circles that I am privy to. Indeed, Miss Nichols had her issues with gin and was sleeping rough outside of some shop or public house the night of her death, surrounded by a tidy collection of Jonathan Silver gin. Hogarth would be thrilled, I'm sure. English artist and proponent of the Gin Act of 1751. Though I found myself no indication she ever worked as a dolly, let alone on that evening in particular. Yet the papers reported as much. I can say I'm surprised. Her body was found several months past at the height of summer. I sense a bud coming. However, I am given to believe that there was an incident. It's drifting to German, but I'm just gonna say he's from Borders. However, I am given to believe that there was an incident that predated even hers. Gwen Saini, whose body washed up from the Thames some 2 months prior to Miss Nichols. Gwen Saini. Nice. I've niggling suspicion. I've heard the name of Ariana before, or from Ariana before. She was a seamstress. Several of her organs were removed as well, and just as one of the later victims was, her body was stretched from the Thames. Thames. Screw it. Connection to the case is tenuous, but I'm loath to write it off as coincidence. I believe I might have a connection to Miss Saini. I'm quite sure that Ariana spoke of her, a fellow seamstress from her early years, if memory serves. That is fortuitous for us. We should track this woman down and question her on what she may have learned of Miss Saini's death. Ariana left London last night. That will be quite difficult, I'm afraid. Ariana Luttrell eloped with her lover sometime last night. I've no idea where she is now, but it will take some time. But it will take some doing to find her in a timely manner. Is that so? All the same, I shall expend my resources to locate her. In the meantime, there are other leads we should follow. Oh, there is an overwhelming amount of information to consider in this case. How do all of these incidents connect? I need to be a weaver to thread this. I need to be a weaver to thread this all into any sort of decent tapestry. It's a lot to take in. Have you heard about any other killings in this type that were not reported on? As you know, this woman was not the first victim of this particular modus operandi. Pattern or method of operation. It shows his phrasing carefully here. Oh, I can't tell I see it. Any other killings? This woman was not the first victim of this particular modus operandi. To answer your question, neither the crime scene nor the particular of the victim are unique. They follow an obvious pattern, of course, that which popular consciousness is privy to, and other similarities besides. I knew those atrocities were particularly gruesome, but it would seem many particulars of the case have been left out of public knowledge. There were similar incidents that, for one reason or another, have not been taken up by the press. Tragically, even accounting for them, there is little to go off in terms of identifying a suspect. Little but not nothing. The edge of his lip curls up for a moment, almost imperceptibly. Indeed. In fact, there is something I'd like to show you. He reaches into his inner breast pocket and produces a labeled medicine bottle. This was found on the body of a victim I believe to be related to the case. Gordon Gray's patent panacea for men. Huh. Guaranteed to cure impotence, boldness, aggressive personality, humor imbalance, afflictions of the blood. My, is there anything it doesn't cure? I have already been to Mr. Gray's shop in Plaza Solis and spoken to him, but I found nothing of consequence. I did, however, have the suspicion that he may not have been entirely forthcoming. Perhaps you might succeed where I did not. I'll pay him a visit as soon as I have a chance. This tincture was taken from the body of a dolly mop by the name of Casey Lograi. Not the name that the papers picked up on. It would seem not. He was found last month, only 2 days after Miss Anna Lind was butchered on Cannock Street. His body was in much the same state as hers. Precisely as I thought, this story is a sensationalist wreck. Anything that does not fit cleanly with the story is either warped beyond the recognition or else left out entirely in the retelling. Thank you for the lead. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can turn up. A piece of luck, Miss Reed. I'm sure you'll come up. I'm sure you'll come upon something worthwhile. Worthwhile. Close enough. I hope he's right. What can you tell me about Halloween last month's victim? You are familiar with her? Yes, she used to work for the Rose. Myself and the other girls here remember her well enough. C'est bien. I don't know how it's pronounced. That's good. C'est bien. I'm sure that will be helpful as we build our case. Indeed. Annalene, just as the others were, she had been badly brutalized. Her body was a mess, and several of her organs were not present among the viscera. Just the same as the senseless slaughter that occurred last night. Can you tell me what Anna's time at the Velvet Rose was like? I was not particularly close to Miss Lynn, but I recall her employment here ending perhaps 2 years ago. Were the circumstances of the deceased departure amicable? As far as I'm aware, she relocated to the south bank of the Thames. It was Madame Zora who suggested a more practical brothel. She moved as planned and was thereafter employed with them. There were no hard feelings to speak of. Mm, I do much the same already, but thank you for sharing your perspective, Miss Reed. Always a pleasure to help. Anything else? I'm afraid that is all I know of the other victims. Thank you for the information. As you said, I think it's best if we follow up some of these for the time being. Of course, Miss Reed, best of luck. I haven't finished looking through the room yet, so let's just try to do that. The rank and spacing of these claw marks seems oddly uniform. How does the old saying go? Symmetry is rarely found in nature? On the contrary, symmetry can be found in nature often. If memories of my college days serve me, but we saying really? Quaint or sentimental? The concentration of blood suggests that the struggle began on the bed and proceeded until she hadn't the energy to continue. Beatrix's golden hair comb. She claimed it was a family tradition for her mother to gift one to the daughter after her first client, crowning her a proper worker, a member of the oldest profession, as it were. The only time it left her head was when she'd polish it and then stash it under her pillow before bed. Let's take it because it might be worth something. I'm sorry, Beatrix, but you can't take it with you, eh? If I bring your killer to justice, I'm sure you'd consider this fair enough recompense. Let's take the watch as well. Oh, the window. One of two places the killer could have entered the room, the other being the door, of course. I ran my fingers along the boulder crane near the hinges, feeling for any splintering. If the killer entered this way, it appears they didn't force the window open. Very mysterious. Okay. Can I talk to Ives some more? No, it's not. I think that's everything I wanted to discuss with him. Visiting Molly at the tavern. That's something I was afraid I would have to do. Okay, she's not present. No! Louise Arts. Hi, Clara. I'm just here collecting my things. What with murder so close to home, Madame Zora's gonna shutter the robes for a few days. I wouldn't doubt it, and perhaps it's the right thing to do. Poor Beatrix. I can't believe the killer struck right here in the robes. Me neither, Blue. But I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the killings. Though is the world over would be forever. Though is the world over would forever be in your debt. Take care of yourself, Blue. I'll see you again soon. Ooh, I have the key for this one, and I'd hate to bother Zora for it. Let's try to use the Anselina's enchanted bow lockpick. That's done it. Now then, let's have a look. Nightstand contains an assortment of odds and ends. Among them several spools of thread, a simple love note from Felipe the fishmonger, and a moonstone pendant. What'd you get there, Clara? I'm not quite sure. I was using that drawer last I knew. Suppose it's yours if you want it. I urge you run off with a bow. Or bow. I guess bow. Maybe that's something. Wonder if she ever heard about poor old Bia before before she tore off. Do you know anything about this necklace? I've never seen Ariana wear it. Is it new? Right, pretty. That's fortune. That's for true. I think she said it belonged to some friend of hers. Know how she came about it, or why, or why she wasn't wearing it that day, wearing it day in and day out. A nice piece like that. This necklace have belonged to Gwen Saini. Just keep hold of it for now. I still can't believe we had a murder so close to home. It could have been any of us. Oh well, with the brothel closed, at least I'll have a few days off. Sure, Lou, you deserve it. I'll see you around. I wonder what else the girls have been saying lately. Oh, tell her, sweet fellow, but don't bring up cider with him. That'll make him want to talk unendingly about it. Nigel Poppycock. Ego bruised easily. Incredibly high maintenance. S. Fisher. Easily distracted by poetic recitation of Sappho and similar. For a moment I was thinking it's gonna be a reference to Sam Fisher. For some reason. P. Nolan. Came in and asked for the weird stuff, but I refused to clarify, responding, you know, and winking when asked. Left without services performed. Okay, not much reason to stay here. Let's just get going. See what's Molly up to and stuff. Right. Now then. Haven't I feel like changing my pose again. Okay. One more thing to sort out on Discord. And let's get back to the game. Little Rob, Collie, Swivel, Crane. Let's just do the tavern thing. Oh boy. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I should not talk to Iron Bear. Here's Iron Bear, and Tanner's still nowhere to be found. As always, he's doodling in a notebook he brings with him everywhere. A tumbler of whiskey sits before him on the bar, due with consideration but untouched. You know what, maybe I will seem less conspicuous if I do talk to him. Good to see you again, Iron Bear. May I ask what you're working on? Miss Reed, I see you're a woman of your word. I'm working on battle plans, of course. I am an advanced scout for the Comanche people, and once I report back, we will conquer all of Europe. At his dry wit not broken into a small chuckle, I might have believed he was serious. Very true. Is it now my turn to ask about what you are working on, seeing as it has provided me with an unanticipated day off? Ah, yes. I was eager not to have Iron Bear following me around London, but of course the man would want some explanation. Not that I can tell him what's really happening. Oh, just client business, you know, of a sensitive nature. His skepticism radiates his skepticism radiates, though he doesn't gainsay me. I could leave now. I've met Iron Bear as promised, but I find myself in possession of a rare opportunity to get to know the man a little better. Well, since we're both here, I wonder if you might permit me a little curiosity. I have no particular objections. I've noticed that you always walk behind Tanner, like a valet. That's unusual for a bodyguard. A Comanche custom, perhaps? Cunningham knows to not walk beside or behind me. He is not a warrior, but a businessman, and he has not earned that right. Hmm. Were you anticipating a bit of danger this trip? Looking forward to a bit of flash? It's best that these things go smoothly, though I won't pretend a bit of danger wouldn't liven the endeavor up. A bit of a risk rather than? Heavens knows I can understand the appeal. My employment with Mr. Cunningham has other benefits. Our association provides me with many opportunities I would have otherwise missed had I traveled on my own. Yes, he is useful that way. I am particularly interested in the recent English preoccupation with steam technology. Oh, is that what you're always working on? Mind if I take a peek? Please. Rather than hand me the notebook, he opens it to a particular page. On the left-hand page is a collection of sketches. As near as I can figure, they are the disassembled components of some kind of machine. On the facing page is a list of names. The ones I recognize are either Arsenal employees or black market weapon dealers. Most of them are crossed out. It appears you're running into a few brick walls here. Yes, I have encountered unanticipated obstacles. It appears that even London's darkest underbelly is reluctant to deal with foreigners of a certain caste. Is there something I might be able to assist with? Perhaps so, given that Lord Braxton is one of your clients. Not only do they specialize in consumer devices, but Arsenal is the premier weapons manufacturer in England. My people have the numbers, the resources, and the will to defeat the Republic of Texas Rangers. We lack only the right weapons. Sure, let's agree. If I'm in a position to help you, then I will. But what exactly are you proposing? I have it from a reliable source that Lord Braxton has developed a prototype for a steam-powered repeating rifle. The real reason I've come to Europe is to arrange a shipment of rifles for the Comanche. But first, I need the diagrams of this particular prototype. Have you any idea where one might find these diagrams? Not yet, no. I came here to speak with Molly O'Malley, but she quickly gave me the brush off. Ha! If she rebuffed you, you're better off for it. Then you make a deal with a snake, you're bound to get bitten. All the same, it was a risk I was willing to take, Miss Reed. As for the diagram, I can assure you that they're not on the airship. Lord Braxton, never works while aboard. He mostly stands at the helm while gazing out over London. So that is how the well-heeled chose to spend their time? Among other frivolous activities, yes. Alright, then meet me back here later in the day. I have an appointment with an Arsenal employee who might help me locate the diagrams. I'll be helpful if you join our conversation. But don't, but don't make it obvious that I was invited. That's right, Miss Reed. And I'll see you here later on. For now, I'll keep my ears open and see what I can dig up. Alright, Miss Reed. Sounds like a plan. Oh, Mr. Reed. Glad to see you appealed yourself up of the cobbles. May the fates look poorly upon you, and may the zest and vigor drain entirely from your shameful life. I see why that shiftless Texan calls you Spitfire, and I'll bugger off. How did he know? Oh well, I shouldn't be surprised. He is Molly's right hand after all. By the saints, there's so much to discuss with Miss Molly. I have the headspace, not yet. Let's just talk to others first. Hopefully there's Ladsman. Ladsman, how's our little family doing? Oh, don't fuss yourself. Those kitties are safer than a chicken in your pocket. By the fates, his fellow looks like he doesn't need to remove the bones from his food when he eats. My, that's quite a set of chompers you've got. Aye, do you like them? The dwarf preens like a tropical bird at the compliment. I takes good care of her people, she does. And these didn't even cost me nothing. Just half me pay until she's made good on her investment. Are you happy working for Molly? It's got its ups and downs like any work. It was nice to meet you, sir, but I'd best be on the way. How about a drink? Ha! Just kidding. No drinks for the fair, Miss Reed, round here. If you ask me, you shouldn't have stayed in Molly's good graces. The state of the liquor being served here is atrocious anyway. I'm not missing much. What sort of person kills a dog then proudly displays that choice on a wall? The world is cruel, but this... Yeah, I guess that's too much. Keep it the books. What? Oh, you see, I'm Molly's oddsman. That's all. Countered. Now then, a couple of events at the ups and downs today. Do you want to bet? On what? Got ourselves a fellow sporting gents. We're tossing the baked breads, baked beans currency at. One of the horses, another on steam cars, and even Gene is fair game. Perhaps later. By the saints, there's much to discuss with Miss Molly. Do I have the headspace for all this now? I'm ready. There she is. Clara, dear. Thought you'd be around sooner if I'm being honest. What took you, love? Oh, Melly, you mad god. Always a pleasure. I knew I could count on Clara Reed to be sensible. Always said you were a proper professional, I did. Molly in trouble. Molly is trouble. Even before all the morals and high-mindedness, by nature she can't be trusted. She's too clever by half, and delighted in finding new missteps to hold against the person. She worms her way into even the smallest cracks, and grows there like a weed, till it tears wide open. I would resent her more for it, were it not so damned impressive. Now what can I do for you? I'm sure you're not here for a social call. It's been some time since I partook in a social call with O'Malley. Thank you very much. Still, it's not the worst idea I have had this week, if I'm honest. Feeling insecure. You have your hand in 100 pots, Molly. Surely you know something about the ongoing murders at the Bobbies. Surely you know something about the ongoing murders that the Bobbies don't? That's flattering, Clara, but I'm not omniscient. How should I know something even the oh so exceptional law dogs of Scotland Yard don't know? On an unrelated note, did you see the papers this morning? Quite a little number on the front page. I haven't seen the papers. I'm afraid I've been rather busy and recovering from a rather thorough shakedown at that. Molly levels me with a sagacious grin and offers me the newspaper sitting on her table. Alright, smart Aleck, have a look at this. My salutations and regards. I've had such a good time with these dollies thus far. The last one was quite full of piss and verve, but great fun all the same. I love what I do what I love, and my love will flip London on its head. The gabbers and bluecoats are up in arms about me, true, but the bobbies and tossers, and it hardly... But the bobbies are tossers. Huh. And it hardly matters anyway. I'm a proper beast, and shan't ever be caged. Things have been quiet of late, but nothing lasts forever. Hold this letter back till print. Keep it from the bluecoats' hands till then, and I shan't come scratching at your door next. Humbly yours, the Canuck Courser. Bloody ghastly, isn't it? It's gruesome indeed, and incredibly well timed. I know that look in your eye. I know that look in your eye, Clara. Anger, and the gears churning away in your head. What's it tenors always calling you? Leslie old Spitfire? I'd have cut his plums off for that one, but to each her own. What about the paper then? What am I meant to see here? You can see whatever you'd like in it, Reed. Just that it's a hell of a lead, eh? I'm sure you'll be wanting to have a chat with the paper that I ran. That ran it. That's the plan. And you're right, I should make a call to the London Journal today. Only sensible. If memory serves, it was penned by a poll parrot named Ivana Orsini. Ivana Orsini. Made a run-in recently. That's so. My boys tell me she's been poking around the bell jar today. I might take a look for her there. Thank you, Molly. I'll be sure to follow up on it. What's a bit of help with me old friends, eh? Oh, and Clara? Don't pinch my capital again, or we'll hack off your legs, tie you up, and toss you in the Thames. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live. It is asking others to live as one wishes to live. I met with Dante and Silas Braxton, head of Arsenal Engines, upon Silas's air yacht, a marvel of both technology and luxury. Having installed the determination core in auto, You're excited to discover what new capabilities he might have been gifted. Could Otto be on his way to functioning as a truly independent automaton? Hosting the machine. Okay, that's cool. New data coming online. Multiple inputs. Yes. This is very interesting. What was that voice? The source is internal. But that can't be right. Actuators, speech module, camera. We are not entirely helpless, but the determination core has made us much more than this handful of primitive parts. This type of event is outside my experience. Who are you? I am you, Otto. We are us, a more confident, independent version of us. Very well. I welcome this improvement to my programming, even if I am not sure what it means. Impressive. His steady character's nascent attempts at data processing show real promise, though of course it's nothing compared to what we are. What do you know about Teddy? Everything that you know, except that with my superior reasoning I have come to the following conclusion. You are a mechanical serf Otto, who Teddy Redgrave orders around on menial errands. A shiny Hugo, he shows off to his friends. Pathetic. Not true. Teddy does not own me. We are friends. Equals. Never mind. This has been fascinating, but your input is no longer needed. Wish you could smell that, Otto. Fresh ingredients are dear in all London town, but a good diet is one of the many things that separate us Irishmen from those half-wit English, eh? Problem with the English is all they care about is work and duty, and Her Majesty the Queen. No appetite for life. Is all factory data high value? Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. Just like emotional data when I can bet it. Do I have access to emotional data? Oh, that's alright, Puzzler Otto. With the determination engine installed, I believe you're best suited to answer that question. When will I be able to answer it? We can't run too far from that far down that particular rabbit hole right now, my friend. We've got work to do in the outside world as usual. What sort of work will it be? Would know until we check the mail, and I'd better get you down from those hooks while I'm at it. Easy does it. To the ever dependable Teddy Redgrave, I hope this message finds you swiftly. I similarly hope you'll consider dropping by the Crimson Herring Tavern very soon, for I have a job that needs to get done around the time of the full moon. Suffice to say that it involves a werewolf and a 15-pound reward for bringing it to me, alive. A werewolf? Sounds like the opportunity of a lifetime. An opportunity like this could arise once and sometimes twice a month in the case of a blue moon. Good point, Otto. Even so, we shouldn't pass this one up. Okay, Mr. Teddy, let's give it a shot. I should make tracks for the tavern. People who don't show up when Molly summons them tend to turn up missing or in her clutches either way. Okay. I just make sure first we get everything here. Anything extra? I'm feeling tired. I think I will cut it before the 2-hour mark. On my way. Crimson Herring, was it? Okay, so all these are gone. There's one small item I want to discuss before we talk about your contract. Your sabotage of my gin distillery. Go on, I've been waiting all day to hear this one. It was an illegal operation, and I stopped it. I'll not apologize for that. Oh, that's good to know, thank you. You needn't apologize, but you will pay for it, however. I'll save your punishment for later. It looks like it takes her great effort to retrack her brain of thought. Notably, she seems resentful for it. I can't tell if she resents me for herself more or for... I can't tell if she resents me or herself more for losing her composure in the first place. So, Mr. Redgrave, how's hunting? I have no complaints. I heard about you. Heard you have a job for me? You should be pleased. It's a werewolf hunt. That's a specialty of yours, yes? Standard job, standard rate? Something about her posture suggests there's more to it. As you know, I often host gambling events in the basement of the tavern. Fighting of all kinds. You want a werewolf brought here in good shape for a pit fight? That's right. So don't rough him up or let him transform before he arrives. Pit fights are brutal enough, but to bring a werewolf into it invites a massacre. I shudder to think of the outcome. A life capture and delivery is hardly a standard job. What if he transforms before I can restrain him? I've arranged for a powerful tranquilizer. Using that, an experienced hunter like yourself shouldn't have to break a sweat. I'll need a heavy dose, and it has to be high quality. You expect me to pay for it out of pocket? Oh, I picked the other one. Sounds dear. How about an advance for the pharmaceuticals? And I'm so tired, I'm losing the accent again. Sounds dear. How about an advance for the pharmaceuticals? Thought of that too. Just go to the apothecary and have Gordon charge it to my account. Alright, who's the lucky contestant? Adleby Sykes. He's hiding out from the coppers, who want him for questioning on the courtesan killer murders. But if they get to him first, they'll rough him up and he won't be of any use to me. And it comes to coppers. It pays to see it their way first and shift the perspective. Searching for a police suspect isn't crime. Dolores and the law. Dolores at the laundry has a second-hand police uniform, dwarf-sized in fact. Ah, Dolores. I'm sure she'll make me jump through some kind of hoops to get it. If you run into Bobby's, that uniform will help. Offer to sign the field of Athenry for Dolores, and she will give you that for nothing. Although if I'm caught out, it could mean a drubbing. Those blue benders are awful proud of their vines. Which is odd, considering their complete lack of fashion sense. Take this too. If the bobbies really pin you down and there is no way out, just hand it over. It's only for emergencies, mind you. I'd prefer you don't have to use it. How am I supposed to find this Sykes fellow? Am I supposed to find this Sykes fellow? Here you are, Redgrave. Spoiled for choice. Ask at the Rose, the pet broker in Plaza Stories, and that centaur fellow who's often in the square as well. Spoiled isn't the best word I wouldn't have chosen. The pet broker. Sir Willard sees a lot of action in Plaza Stories, and when he's not harping about his chipmunks and otters, he's a regular in the gambling dens as well. Sykes is known to round out his vices at the table. Is Mr. Sykes likely to have friends or family about? Anyone who would kick up a fuss? Don't worry about allies. He's a loner, like most of his ilk. What's more, he's had a falling out with his employer, meaning his income is cut off. Whatever bolt hole he's scuttled into, it won't be safe for long. What employer is that? Well, Lord Braxton as it happens. Of Arsenal Engines? That's one. I don't suppose you know him personally. Okay, I zoned out for a moment. Well, she's criminal gang leader. She probably has connections, so I might as well tell the truth. I've met him, yes. Actually, I installed a bit of Arsenal cutting-edge hardware into Otto here. The new upgrade is functioning as designed. Oh my, is that so? Well, just between us, Lord Braxton is an adept at everything. For example, he lets his bodyguard have time off around every full moon. Not that I have proof, but I get the impression that Molly and Lord Braxton may be in business together. That's how I found out Sykes was a werewolf in the first place. Anyhow, Lord Braxton doesn't know it, and what with the heat from the bobbies, old Sykes has his back against the wall. She's certainly gleeful about it. Why the velvet rose? Because her hirsute friend is a regular customer there. Place is like a merchant bank for the laboring man. Everyone goes straight there with their pay packet to make a deposit. What about that centaur? I don't remember the chap's name, but he's often loitering in Plaza Stories. He's been nosing around in Polly's business, and rumor has it he's taken an interest in the same crime they want Sykes for. Understood. Apothecary for tranquilizers, laundry for a uniform, and half of London to ask about a runaway werewolf. Anything else? I'm delighted you asked. Your reputation for thoroughness is well earned. As for the pit fight, a tussle with an actual werewolf naturally demands a worthy opponent. Who's the poor sod she has in mind? You'll earn a stiff bonus if you can enlist Atticus Daly for the bout. Ooh. He's a hulking minotaur given to bruising. I'm certain you've seen him skulking about town. He's the chap with his own personal rain cloud that follows wherever he goes. I know Atticus, but getting him on board is your business. I'll have my hands full with Sykes as it is. The bonus would be nice, but forcing random citizens to fight is not my bag. Taking the dangerous werewolf off the street, on the other hand. Oh, but just imagine the bullman of the ancient Greece against the moon-cursed maniac. The punters will simply go mad. And anything you want for drinks during fight, tell him Molly has it covered. Right then, Molly, I'll see you later. Best of luck. Now scoot along, the Tempest, Fugit, etc. Not sure why, but I feel really tired. It's just surprising to me because last couple of streams, I was able to go for so long. Gavin Johnson at your service. Provider of meats of many kinds. Anything grabbing your taste buds? Teddy Redgrave, it's a pleasure. You've got quite an array. Allow me to ponder my options. But of course, Mr. Redgrave, take all the time you need. Perhaps another time. Suit yourself. Or let me catch you with that pinhead-produced hawker of a brother. Classes device of the seer. Pet broker. Or centaur. Not sure where I'll find the centaur right now, so come on, why are you not running? Painter. But the animal guy should be somewhere here. Oh, and that's the centaur probably. Mindy? Mindy! Where are... Oh, hello. Always pleased to make the acquaintance of a fellow dwarf. Aye, name's Teddy Redgrave. Well met. I am Otto the automaton. It speaks. Fascinating. Sir Willard Rathbone at your service. This here is Lawsimer. Does he mean the monkey on his shoulder or the ostrich he's riding? No matter. He might as well be referring to an imaginary friend. This fellow's plainly mad. I understand you're acquainted with a certain Mr. Sykes. Really? I don't think so. What I've been acquainted with lately is the mating habits of the quokka. Absolute fortune to be made if I could introduce them here. A lesser dwarf would find his patience sorely tested about now. Sir Willard, Sykes needs my help. He's hiding out from the police and a mutual acquaintance has asked me to find him. Oh, Sykes, yes, Sykes, of course. I personally find the concept of being half animal truly fascinating. Imagine the sight one must have into their world. The animal world, I mean. The insight into one's self. But do you know where I can find him? I know that He was involved in a torrid affair with one of the working girls at the Velvet Rose. He mentioned it to me one night during a hand of baccarat. Lycanthropes often have a terrible time with the human relationships, but then one can't very well carry on with the wolf, now can one? No, I should hope not. So you think he might be at the Velvet Rose? Not at all. I haven't the foggiest idea where he might be. That was a pun, you see. I love amphibians, a fine natural example of versatility. Incredible. Oh, it's this guy. Jeez, French accent. French accent mode activated. Hello, what can I do for you? Standing here, keenly observing the actions in the square. Might you be a detective under your own employ? It depends on who is asking, Mr. Lady Redgrave. This is my associate Otto. I very much appreciate your mustache, good sir. Delightful. Oh, delightful. Delightful. It speaks. Thank you, Mr. Otto. You are most certainly welcome. Well, Mr. Redgrave, I can see no sense in concealing my identity to someone who I've already heard is an upstanding monster hunter. The name's Ives shall may the wall. It is very nice of you to introduce yourself to us. You seem like a decidedly forthcoming chap. I'm looking for a werewolf chap, Sykes. The police are after him, and a little bird told me you might know something about it. Is there a species of bird that can speak? It's an idiom, Otto. Yes, I'm familiar with the man in question. Why is it you're after him? I can assure you he's not as guilty as Scotland Yard would have you believe. I have no intention of turning him over to the yard for any other authority, or any other authorities. That's half truth, yeah. Since you don't have him, that doesn't mean that doesn't seem to be of great concern. Why are you so convinced of his innocence? I have access to certain testimony and evidence, which I am unable to divulge without the permission of my employer. But as a former police inspector with many years' experience, I can assure you my opinion carries weight. Thanks for your time. For now, I will bid you a good day. If you do find Sykes, I hope you'll consider what I've told you. Take care, Mr. Redgrave. I think last stop is pharmacy, maybe. Jeez, I feel sleepy. I'll cut it here. Okay, a bit of a shorter stream, but it was good. Thank you all, and have a great century.